Thank Zamlin Jen Chon Namla Kujan Zar Zamlang Zebi Jandun Chonida Tujelon Tongyam Ben Zamaya Nakotambari Peter Juji Mundi Shukur Tomya Chime Wuzar Shabla Kujan Zar Shivshakan Jindwala Jipsi Tere Chime Wuzar Yam Chetu Tenzo Saman Chenam Kinam Jing Mei Ling Bi Shabla Kushan Sar Mari Sangin Chenra Nangla Sar Kundu Zambo Mangan Nambar Jan Sibji Kevin Chenlin Zinza Mebham Jam Su Shabla Kushan Sar Pammi Tuksi Tojib Dinyi Chupi Namo Lira Lantikar Madi Landari Devaji Jingme Penso Shabla Kushan Sar Kansan Goa Tontunin Jimbe Sabjanam Nivantin Dajimba Nidura Jertambe Nanja Yeshi Wanju Shabla Kushan Sar Kunzan Dorjim Garab Shirasan Pema Gara Jiman Yeshima Sozol Nanya Tetun Jata Katiri Lama Nala Kushan Sar Kanda Shocha Tonga Jijina Deja Lama Jiva Kansata Kanda Tumbi Juji Shami Sembrando Badeda Dhamse Darsha Si Namo Hayatambal Hayiga Dando Dando Jinke Chon Tamame Kanam Dando Kujidaka Thamse Gada Chujan Tujuru Si Okay, so their prayer in relation to generation, the Bhodhhichita, 3 chants only. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all beings live in the great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that kept some close and the others distant. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all beings live in the great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and others distant. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all beings live in great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and the others distant. Okay, so today we are going talking about how to take the refuge in Mandala of essence, natures, and all-pervasive compassion. That is the title of this topic. So this topic generally is connected from Buddha Dharma practitioners because the refuge. Refuge means is because if you have having some problems, and then if you don't know how to avoid, how to stop, or how could we can freedom from such of the problems by yourself alone, that means is you need to find some protections or some leader or some guide to achievement state of your wish. So this kind object is we said the refuge. That means is we need to go into refuge. What is the object of refuge? Who is going to refuge? How to take refuge? There's three different kind of aspects.
אז היום אנחנו נדבר על לקיחת מחסה, לקיחת מקלט במנדלת המהות, הטבע והחמלה, חובק את כל. זה הנושא הזה הוא קשור למתרגלי הבודהיזם. אם יש לנו בעיות, אם אנחנו לא יודעים איך להימנע או להפסיק את הבעיות האלו לבדנו, אנחנו צריכים למצוא הגנה, מוביל, מדריך כלשהו, כדי להשיג את המשאלות שלנו. אז אלו הם מושאי המחסה. אנחנו צריכים לקחת מהם מחסה. אנחנו צריכים לדעת מי הם אובייקט המחסה ואיך לקחת מחסה.
So, everyone, same wish, we want to be attainment state of happiness and enjoyment. And everyone, same wish, if possible, freedom from any kind of the sufferings and the causes of suffering. So this is very clear. But the questions, by yourself you understand clearly the method for achievement state of happiness, enjoyment. By yourself alone, you can understand how to be freedom from sufferings and the causes of suffering. If yourself you can understand everything, then there's no makes sense taking refuge taking to the refuge, because you are the final refuge. So therefore that is quite good enough. But in case if you even want to be happiness, enjoyment, and especially the ultimate peace and the ultimate enjoyment, but you don't know exactly how to do. Also, we don't know how to be freedom completely, any kind of the three different kind of the sufferings of the samsara and the actual causes and conditions of suffering. And that tells naturally we have to find the refuge object, the correct, authentic, the perfect refuge object for freedom of such sufferings and for achievement such of your wishes. That's why we need to go into take refuge.
כולם רוצים להיות מאושרים, כולם רוצים לחוות אושר והנאה, וכולם גם רוצים להיות חופשיים מהסבל ומהסיבות לסבל. אבל האם אנחנו מבינים לבד, אם אנחנו יודעים לבד את השיטה להשיג את האושר וההנאה לבדנו? האם אנחנו מבינים לבד איך להשתחרר מהסבל ומהסיבות לסבל? אם כן, אז אנחנו לא צריכים לקחת מחסה, כי אנחנו המחסה הסופי, האחרון. אבל במקרה שאנחנו רוצים להיות מאושרים, אנחנו רוצים את האושר המוחלט, הסופי, ואנחנו לא יודעים איך להימנע משלושת סוגי הסבל של הסמסרה, מהסיבות והתנאים לסבל, אז זה אומר שאנחנו צריכים למצוא את מושא המחסה האמיתי ולקחת במקלט.
So therefore the practitioners of the refuge, we can invariably the person of the taking refuge, whom we divide into invariably three kind of different categories. taking refuge better of the smaller beings, middling beings, and great beings. So these are the three kind of different beings. The first one, smaller beings. This means is he or her motivation is very small, very tiny, means very weak. For example, they want to be freedom, very temporary, the present moments of sufferings. Therefore, they're looking, they're searching the antidote, how could we gain freedom from of the temporary sufferings and the causes of temporary suffering. In this life, for this life, actually this kind, the person is still yet not entering into the actual part of Dharma. This is like worldly Dharma, we can say, because this person only thinking for this life. They're not thinking any for future life, and they're never thinking about enlightenment. Have no idea for next rebirth, and no idea for enlightenment, achievement state of enlightenment. Only what is good for this life and what is not good for this life they're looking. That is normal, ordinary people. Generally, when we sons grow up after mothers giving birth, and then we go and starting to follow very beginning to the parents, and then is to the teachers, so on. But anyway, since we small child and up to comes the age of old or death, between their death and death, we're doing so many different activities there, physically and worldly and mentally. But why different kind of the activities? So that's for searching happiness, enjoyment, and avoiding sufferings and the cause of sufferings. So this is the worldly part. So therefore, even you say, I'm going to practice Dharma, but your main motivation is only for this life. That is very temporary. Even you take a refuge on like Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, is nice, beautiful, but you are not yet still entering into the actual part of Dharma. You are entering into the part of worldly. But the method is a little bit different because you use the method is by the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha for benefit this life. So this very, very smaller the things follow in the smaller part.
המתרגלים שלוקחים מחסה, אפשר לחלק אותם לשלושה סוגים שונים. יש את המתרגלים הקטנים, הבינוניים והגדולים. המתרגלים הקטנים או בעלי המוטיבציה הקטנה, אז המוטיבציה שלהם היא קטנה, היא חלשה. הם רוצים, לדוגמה, הם רוצים חופש זמני ברגע הזה מסבל, ולכן הם מחפשים את הנוגדן לסבל, הנוגדן הזמני. מחפשים את הנוגדן לסבל הזמני והנוגדן לסיבות לסבל הזמני בחיים האלו. המתרגלים האלה עדיין לא נכנסו לדרך הדרמה האמיתית. זו דרך דרמה ארצית, כי הם חושבים רק על החיים האלה, לא על החיים הבאים או על ההערה. אין להם מושג על החיים הבאים או ההערה, רק מה שטוב לחיים האלו או רק מה שלא טוב לחיים האלו. אלה אנשים רגילים. ומהרגע שאנחנו נולדים, אנחנו הולכים בהתחלה אחרי ההורים שלנו, אחר כך אחרי המורים שלנו, ומהלידה עד המוות אנחנו עושים פעילויות שונות, פיזיות או בדיבור או מנטלית. ולמה זה? כי אנחנו רוצים למצוא אושר, אנחנו רוצים להימנע מסבל ומהסיבות לסבל, אבל זאת דרך ארצית, רגילה. אם אנחנו אומרים שאנחנו מתרגלי דרמה, אבל אנחנו מתרגלים רק לחיים האלו, אז זה נחמד, אבל זאת לא הדרך האמיתית של הדרמה. או שאנחנו לוקחים מקלט בבודהיזם סנגה, אבל רק לחיים האלו. אז אומנם השיטה היא קצת שונה, אנחנו עושים את זה דרך הבודה דרמה סנגה, אבל הדרך היא קטנה. זאת הדרך של המתרגלים עם המוטיבציה הקטנה.
And then it's a little bit, your heart is become little grow up, progress. Or mind is looking little bit, can thinking for distant or future. Not only for this life alone. Because you are having understanding reincarnation, born from past life, and therefore it will be reborn again in next rebirth. Life is not only existent once this time. So therefore you want to be responsibility for further on top of your this life to next rebirth. Thinking about for next rebirth, what is good, what is not good for you for next rebirth. That means is you having feeling, you having the faith for the natural law of cause and the effect, cause of the karma of cause and the effect. That means is you understanding the order of the happiness, enjoyment is as born from positive karma or positive action. Any kind of the experiencings of the sufferings are caused from the dependent of the negative karma or non-virtuous actions. So therefore, in next rebirth, as we are born higher fortune, happy realm, fortune realm or not, is depend, we understand, to the our projection, post karma in this life. Or next rebirth, unfortunately reborn, falling unfortunate any one of the three realms, which is the hell realm, hungry ghost realms, and animal realms. And then we understand, unfortunately, if reborn unfortunate any one of the realms, and then lots of sufferings, like for example, suffering heat and the cold by the hell realm beings during hundreds of lifetimes, and sometimes it takes a kalpas lifetimes, the suffering. And being who unfortunately if reborn in the hungry ghost realms in next rebirth, and then they are mainly suffering with the hungry and thirsty many hundreds years, and difficult to freedom from such suffering. And being who unfortunately if next rebirth, immediate next rebirth reborn, unfortunate of the animal realms, and they are mainly suffering better of mental stupidity, blindness, mind. They are suffering with not freedom, and better of under the force of the humans. They used to be the human beings or so on, and mental stupidity, blindness, suffering so many different kinds. So therefore, if they understand the natural law, karma of cause and effect, that is why they want to be freedom. Next rebirth, at least they want to be freedom from unfortunate lower realms and the sufferings of unfortunate lower realms. At least they want to reborn again in the higher fortune realm and happy life, a long life, healthy life, or so on. Therefore, and then they're taking refuge on Buddha, Dharma, or Sangha, something they try to find the authentic, the perfect protections, relying on that authentic, the protectors. So that's, we say, going to the part of smaller beings, refuge.
כשהלב שלנו גדל, התודעה חושבת על העתיד ולא רק על החיים האלו. אנחנו מבינים, אנחנו מתחילים להבין גלגולים שאנחנו נולדנו מחיים קודמים וניוולד שוב ושוב, לא רק פעם אחת. ולכן אנחנו רוצים לקחת אחריות על העתיד שלנו, על הלידה הבאה שלנו. אנחנו רוצים להבין מה טוב ומה לא טוב לנו. ויש לנו אמונה בחוק הטבעי של סיבה ותוצאה, הקרמה. אנחנו מבינים שהאושר נולד מפעולה חיובית, וכל הסבל נולד מפעולה שלילית, מקרמה שלילית. ולכן בעצם בזה הלידה הבאה שלנו תלויה. אם ניוולד בלידה גבוהה במישור קיום גבוה או שמח, זה למעשה תלוי בקרמה שלנו בחיים האלו. או, אז לדוגמה, אם ניפול למישורי הקיום הנמוכים, כמו הגיהנום, הרוחות הרעבות או החיות, אם ניוולד שם יש המון סבל, חום, קור, ואנחנו נחיה שם מאות גלגולים ועידנים שלמים. ואם לדוגמה ניוולד במישור רוחות הרעבות, אז אנחנו נסבול מרעב, מצמא במשך מאות שנים, וקשה מאוד להשתחרר מסבל כזה. אם ניוולד במישור בעלי החיים, נסבול מטיפשות מנטלית. אנחנו גם לא נהיה חופשיים, אנחנו נהיה משועבדים לבני האדם וכן הלאה. לכן אם מישהו מבין את חוק הסיבה והתוצאה, הוא רוצה להיות משוחרר משלושת המישורים הנמוכים האלו והסבל שלהם. לפחות זה, ואז הוא רוצה להיוולד במישורים הגבוהים וליהנות מחיים ארוכים, מאושר, מכל הדברים האלו, ולכן המתרגלים האלה הם לוקחים מקלט בבודה ובדרום ובסנגה, הם רוצים להסתמך על המגן המושלם הזה.
And then, in this case, what means is Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, the common refuge object. So that means Buddha means is actually unsure, possible, special, authentic teacher. That is actually is Buddha. Buddha is unsure, possible teacher. Because Buddha means Sanskrit language. In Tibetan, literally, Sang and Ye. Sang means is completely awakening. Mind, wake up, completely. A mind is awakening. Wake up from the sleeping life of the ignorance. Means completely they are freedom from the achievement, the freedom from obscuration of karma, obscuration to the delusions, and even though they're completely freedom, they're having freedom, accomplished the obscuration of accomplishment, obscurations to the omniscient, all-knowing knowledge in mind. So their freedom, that means some. And then is a ge, Tibetan word, ge. Ge means is the increasing, completely the perfection state of the development state of the knowledge. That is all-knowing knowledge, achievement state. Or we say omniscience, mind, achievement state. That's a ge. So together, so this Buddha. Buddha means the Sang Ye. So if somebody completely freedom from ignorance and completely achievement state of primordial the wisdom of omniscience, all-knowing knowledge, then this person must be the unsure possible teacher for benefit for sentient beings, because with wisdom, pure wisdom, and with the great method of compassion. So therefore, there's no possible more higher qualities than this kind of person. So that's what we call him. Buddha is an unsure possible teacher.
אז מה זה הבודה, דרמה וסנגה? המחסה שהוא המשותף או הנפוץ. הבודה זה מורה שאין נעלה ממנו, והמורה האותנטי. ובטיבטית בודה זה סנגיה. סנג זה תודעה מוארת לחלוטין, ערה לחלוטין. היא ערה משנת הבורות. התודעה הזאת היא חופשייה לגמרי מהמיסוכים של הקרמה והמיסוכים של האשליות ואפילו מהמיסוכים לידיעת כל. אז זה סנג. וגיה בטיבטית זה ידע מושלם, זה חוכמה ראשונית, כל יודעת. אז זה כמו הגשמה של מצב כזה. אז ביחד זה בודה, זה סנגיה. אז אם מישהו משוחרר לגמרי מבורות ויש לו את הידע הראשוני, כל יודע הזה, אז הוא מורה נעלה לבעלי התודעה. כי יש לו גם חמלה גדולה וגם חוכמה גדולה, ולכן למעשה אין נעלה ממנו.
And then the second object of the refuge, the second jewel, refuge jewel, is a Dharma jewel. Dharma jewel could become the unsure possible path for achievement your purpose, especially for liberation, achievement state of liberation. Dharma is the actual path, the unsure possible path, I'm saying. So Dharma can have, and briefly we can division into two different kind of the aspect of two different kind of power of the protections. In Tibetan, Chu and Gyop. Chu, Gyop. Chu means is change, have power to changing. Gyop means is protection, or protector, or protection, giving protection. Chu, Gyop. So with these two powers, and that is the actual path for liberation. So what means change? Dharma can change if you taking a refuge to the Dharma, and the Dharma can supporting to change your negative emotion. Dharma can change your delusions. Dharma can change or can stop the contaminated karma. So therefore, these two, if you can change, then can protect, Dharma can protection you from the force of samsara and the suffering of samsara. Because the suffering of samsara is composed better of contaminated negative action or the karma, contaminated karma. So the contaminated karma is created better of delusion. But Dharma can change our delusion. Therefore, and can stop karma. Therefore, can avoiding the suffering of samsara. So that is the actual path for liberation, for freedom from suffering and the causes of suffering. That's why we say Dharma is an unsure possible refuge path.
מושא המחסה השני, או אבן החן השנייה, היא הדרמה. היא הדרך שאין נעלה ממנה. נעלה או נעלה? נעלה. זה הדרך להשיג את המטרה שלנו, במיוחד את השחרור. ואפשר לחלק אותה לשתי הגנות. אז בטיבטית אומרים צ'ו קיוב. אז צ'ו זה שינוי, זה כוח לשנות. וקיוב זה הגנה, זה מגן. אז שתי אלו הם הדרך לשחרור. אז מהו השינוי? הדרמה יכולה לשנות את הרגשות השליליים, את האשליות שלנו. היא יכולה להפסיק את הקרמה הנגועה, המזוהמת. אם אנחנו יכולים לשנות, אז הדרמה יכולה להגן עלינו מהפגמים של סמסרה והסבל של סמסרה. כי הסבל הוא נוצר מהקרמה השלילית, והקרמה השלילית נוצרת מהאשליות שלנו. אבל הדרמה יכולה לשנות את האשליות שלנו, אז היא יכולה להפסיק את הקרמה, ואז אנחנו יכולים גם להימנע מסבל. אז זאת הדרך לשחרור, ולכן הדרמה היא המחסה שאין נעלה ממנו, היא הדרך שאין נעלה ממנו.
In this way, now, how we can take refuge on Buddha jewel? How do we know to take refuge on the Dharma jewel? Therefore, the third jewel coming, the refuge object, the Sangha jewel. Sangha jewel. Sangha Sangha jewel is the unsure possible leader, friend, for attainment state of completely enlightenment mind. And also Sangha jewel can be unsure possible leader, friend, leading us or guiding into the entering into the path of liberation, or the entering into the path of the actual refuge object of Dharma. Without taking on the unsure possible leader or Sangha jewel, and then it's by yourself alone, you don't know how to enter into the path of Dharma. If you don't know how to enter into the path of Dharma, then you don't know how to be achievement state of the ultimate enlightenment state of your final purpose. So that's why it's finally we need to take refuge on the Sangha jewel.
אז איך אנחנו לוקחים מחסה בבודה ובדרמה? איך אנחנו יכולים לדעת איך לקחת את המחסה הזה? אז אנחנו צריכים ללכת אחרי החבר, המנהיג, המוביל, שאין נעלה ממנו, כדי להשיג את התודעה המוארת לחלוטין. אז הסנגה היא המדריך שלנו, הם המדריכים שלנו לדרך השחרור, לדרמה. ובלי לקחת מחסה במוביל הזה, במובילים האלו, קשה לנו לדעת לבד איך להיכנס לדרך הדרמה, ואיך להשיג את ההערה המוחלטת השלמה. ולכן אנחנו לוקחים מחסה בסנגה.
Because we need to listen Dharma from Sangha. We need to studying, follow the Sangha. We need to receive transmissions and empowerment, teachings so in form of the Sangha jewel. So in this way, this Sangha can divide into two differences. One is extraordinary Sangha, which is like Arya beings, noble being, supreme being, like Arya Avalokiteshwaraya, Arya Tara, or Arya Vajrapani, Arya Manjushri, so on. That's the extraordinary Sangha. And then is the ordinary Sangha is someone yet not achievement state of realization, selflessness of self, yet not freedom, the obscuration of delusions completely. But still, they have power to enter into the path of the actual path of Dharma, because they learned in this life, maybe during the past life, many times, from authentic teacher and teachings. Those is we say the holy person, or learned person, or scholar person, qualified person. Especially we say like the fully ordained monks, nuns, the ordinary of ordained beings. And then also the lay practitioner, Sangha, as that's we say Upasaka war holder, or the host holder, the lay practitioner, but they also learned as scholar and qualified. So these both is ordinary, one is ordained and one is the host holder, but this also can be the representative of Sangha jewel, refuge object of Sangha jewel.
אנחנו צריכים להקשיב לדרמה מהסנגה, אנחנו צריכים ללמוד וללכת אחרי הסנגה, אנחנו צריכים לקבל את העצמות, התמסורות מהסנגה, מאבן החן הזאת. ולסנגה יש שתי סוגים, יש סנגה נעלה של יצורים נעלים כמו אריה טרה, אריה אבלוקתשבריה, אריה וג'רפני וכולי. הם נעלים, הם יוצאי דופן, ויש את הסנגה הרגילה. הסנגה הרגילה הם יצורים שעדיין לא הבינו את חוסר העצמיות של העצמי. עדיין אין להם חופש מהאשליות האלה לגמרי, אבל יש להם את הכוח להוביל אותנו בדרמה, כי הם למדו בחיים האלו, בחיים קודמים, מורה אותנטי, והם למדו לימודים אותנטיים. אז זה לדוגמה כמו נזירים, נזירות, וגם מתרגילים שהם בעלי בתים, שהם לא הפכו להיות נזירים, הם גם יכולים להיות מלומדים. יש את הנזירים ויש את בעלי הבתים, ככה, משהו כזה. אז הם גם יכולים להיחשב כאבן החן, הסנגה, מושא המחסה.
And then there's one important thing you need to check and judge. Is really
as a necessary object of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Is really is qualified what to in the text what they says. And then if you understand the refuge object qualities, and then you check by yourself, do you have yourself with these qualities already or not? And then finally you see very clearly from the unsure possible teacher, unsure possible of the path, Dharma, and unsure possible the leader, spiritual leader, is the quality is very different than for us. That means is that naturally you feel you want to follow them, you want to learning them, you want to something is taking the refuge from them. But if you not yet understand difference between yourself and of the three jewels, the quality, and thus they don't make sense going to take refuge. Even they go take refuge, but just more thing word, not make sense. But even though they doesn't like to take the refuge, So it's the first very important to clearly to distinguish what is the different qualities between your body, speech, mind, and to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha.
אנחנו צריכים לבדוק בעצמנו אם אנחנו באמת צריכים את הבודה, דרמה, סנגה. אנחנו צריכים להבין את האיכויות של מושאי המחסה האלו, והאם לנו יש את האיכויות האלו או לא. אז אנחנו יכולים לראות בבירור של שלושת מושאי המחסה האלו, האיכויות שלהם הם שונים לגמרי מהאיכויות שלנו. אז אם אנחנו רואים את זה בבירור, אם אנחנו מרגישים את זה, אם אנחנו רואים את זה בבירור, אז אנחנו מרגישים שאנחנו רוצים ללמוד מהם, אנחנו רוצים ללכת אחריהם, אנחנו רוצים לקחת מחסה בהם. אבל אם לא הבנו את ההבדל בינם לבינינו, אז אין היגיון לקחת בהם מחסה. אז קודם כל אנחנו צריכים להבין את ההבדל באיכויות של הגוף, דיבור ותודעה שלנו לבין שלושת אבני החיים.
And anyway, even if you can freedom the sufferings from and rebirth and unfortunately lower realms on this refuge, taking to down this refuge, but still in the higher fortune realm, not completely freedom all the of sufferings, still can be the suffering of suffering, suffering of a change, and all progressive suffering, even the higher fortune in the human realm and God realm. We know in this human realm still is how many difficulties, how many painfulness, sufferings, the problems we had already experienced during these past 20, 30 years, and coming the rest, but also unfortunately, the suffering of the sickness, the suffering of the old age, and the suffering of the death is 100% will be coming sooner or later. Nobody can far away from this, no possible. So therefore, is the samsara, if born in the unfortunate low realm and the hell, bottom of the hell realm, up to of the peak of existent or formless realm, God or formless realm beings are still not completely yet achievement to ultimate peace and ultimate enjoyment. So not in a once we reborn higher fortune in human God realm, but we cannot guarantee for each lifetime 100% reborn again and again higher fortune realm. So one day it can be falling, unfortunately, low realm. If you could not find the way how to liberate of the secular existent. So this kind of motivation, when they understand, arising deeply from your heart, that means the renunciation from the samsara. Your mind is become renounced to the samsara. That means you want to find the way completely of the freedom of samsara and completely of the liberation, the achievement state of enlightenment mind. With this motivation, you taking refuge on Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and then this leading you entering into the path of middling, the middling beings. not smaller beings, middle beings. Because was smaller beings motivation, not yet completely renunciation to the samsara, only renunciation to the lower realm, the suffering of lower realm, but yet not free from the attachment of the higher fortune realm. That we say smaller being, the motivation. But now it's even though in the fortune realm still is not completely satisfaction state, so therefore you have renunciation. So that's why I say part of this motivation leading you into the path of the middle beings.
אם אנחנו יכולים להשתחרר מהסבל של שלושת מישורי הקיום הנמוכים, זה לא מספיק, עדיין יש סבל גם במישורי הקיום הגבוהים של בני האדם, האלים וחצאי האלים. עדיין יש להם את הסבל של הסבל, הסבל של השינוי, ויש להם את הסבל ששורה בכל. אז אנחנו יודעים, לדוגמה, אנחנו בני האדם, כמה סבל יש לנו. אנחנו יודעים המחלות, הזקנה, המוות שיגיע ב100% ואי אפשר לברוח ממנו. ולכן מהגיהנום עד לפסגה של מישורי הקיום בסמסרה, אף אחד עדיין לא השיג את העושר המוחלט. זה לא מספיק להיוולד פעם אחת בעולמות האלים, לדוגמה, כי יום אחד אנחנו ניפול שוב למישור נמוך יותר. אז אם אנחנו לא מבינים איך להשתחרר מהקיום המעגלי, כשאנחנו מבינים את זה, אנחנו מבינים את האמת הזאת, אז אנחנו רוצים להיחלץ לחלוטין בסמסרה, אנחנו רוצים למצוא את הדרך להשתחרר לגמרי בסמסרה ולהשיג את ההערה המושלמת. ולכן אנחנו לוקחים מחסה. ואז אנחנו הופכים להיות מתרגלים בעלי מוטיבציה בינונית. למתרגלים הנמוכים, עם המוטיבציה הקטנה יותר, אין רצון להשתחרר בסמסרה לגמרי, רק מהסבל הזמני, אבל המתרגלים הבינוניים רוצים להשתחרר לחלוטין מהסמסרה.
So this motivation can lead into the path of beyond or worldly. But this beyond or worldly path, again, there's two. The middle being and the great beings, we can division into two. So these middle beings usually in the sutra teaching, we say the Hinayana tradition followers like Arhat, Hirayana, and solitary Yana. These first two we call or two yanas tradition followers motivation is as middling. So therefore they are including part of the middling beings. They're taking refuge on the Buddha Dharma Sangha, but motivation is themselves want to be free from samsara, themselves renunciation to samsara, therefore themselves want to as soon possible attainment state to ultimate peace and ultimate enjoyment, which is nirvana. Take refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha and then they practice. And then one day there will be attainment state, their purpose. But they're falling, unfortunately, extremes of nirvana. Even though they can freedom from falling extremes of samsara, but cannot freedom from falling extremes of nirvana. Because lack the great method of compassion. That means that doesn't mean no compassion, but great method of compassion, I'm saying, means is the cultivating mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta mind they lack. So that's why they're falling extremes of nirvana.
המוטיבציה הזאת יכולה להוביל אותנו לדרך הבלתי רגילה, שהיא לא ארצית, ואפשר לחלק אותה בעצם לשני מתרגלים, קטנים וגדולים. אז בסוטרה יש את ההינayana, אפשר להגיד הארהטים, המגשימים בזכות עצמם. אז לדוגמה, הם לוקחים מחסה, אבל רק כדי להשתחרר בעצמם בסמסרה, ורק כדי להשיג בעצמם את הנירוונה. זאת הסיבה למה הם מתרגלים. ויום אחד הם ישיגו את המטרה שלהם, אבל הם נופלים לקיצוניות של נירוונה, כי אין להם את השיטה הגדולה של חמלה. יש להם חמלה, אבל אין להם את תודעת ההערה, הבודהיצ'יטה.
And then the path of great beings, followers. So the great beings as a main motivation, he or her, mind is cultivating on the of enlightenment, the bodhicitta, mind the very beginning. Why they're going taking refuge on Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel, Sangha jewel? The main point, the answer is not only attitude to benefit oneself, the attitude to benefit to other mother sentient beings. They want very strong wish, attainment of completely enlightenment, the mind of Buddhahood for benefit other mother sentient beings. After the attainment of Buddhahood till emptying, it will be emptying of the samsara. So with this motivation, they're entering into the path of Dharma or they're taking on the Buddha Dharma Sangha, the refuge. That is great beings' motivation. So therefore, it's this, they are the followers of the path of great beings.
והדרך של המתרגלים בעלי המוטיבציה הגדולה, אז המוטיבציה שלהם היא הערה, היא בודהיצ'יטה, תודעת הערה. אז למה הם לוקחים מחסה? כדי להועיל לא רק לעצמם, אלא לכל בעלי התודעה. וכדי, הם רוצים להשיג את התודעה של הבודה, כדי להועיל לבעלי תודעה אימהות אחרים, עד לריקון הסמסרה, ולכן הם לוקחים מחסה. אז אלו המתרגלים בעלי המוטיבציה הגדולה.
So the generation bodhicitta could be there's two. One is conventional bodhicitta, one is ultimate bodhicitta. But the very beginning, ordinaries cannot cultivate in mind of enlightenment without the ultimate bodhicitta. But they must be cultivating on the conventional bodhicitta mind. So conventional bodhicitta mind, again, we can understand to divide two different aspects, cultivating mind of the two different aspects. One is the aspiration bodhicitta mind, one is engagement bodhicitta mind. So the aspiration means is the wish for enlightenment, Buddhahood, to benefit other mother sentient beings. That's the commitment, the promise, very beginning, from heart, deeply arrested he or her heart. And therefore, it's not enough only just aspiration, enlightenment, mind prayer, but on top they need to promise to cultivating under the engagement bodhicitta, which means is the actual actives. Right now, at the starting, the promise start physically, verbally, mentally, entering into the actual path of Dharma. Means as a practice, the promise, commitment for practice. Like the 6 perfections, the perfection of generosity, the cultivating the promise, commitment on practice of the morality conduct, perfection morality conduct, the promise, practice, starting right now, the perfection of patience or the tolerance, and they're going to perfection the practice, the perfection of the samadhi or meditative concentrations, and they practice the promise, the perfection of the wisdom, so the 6th perfection. So that is the promise on starting on 6th perfection. That is the engagement of bodhicitta mind. That's the actual cause for attainment of the purpose.
אז לכונן את תודעת ההערה, הבודהיצ'יטה, יש את התודעה הקונבנציונלית והאולטימטיבית. בהתחלה אנחנו לא יכולים לכונן את תודעת הבודהיצ'יטה האולטימטיבית, אלא רק קונבנציונלית או יחסית. אז הקונבנציונלית היא אפשר לחלק אותה לשתיים, לשאיפה ולמעשה עצמו, לעיסוק עצמו. אז השאיפה היא להשיג את ההערה למען בעלי התודעה, אבל יש לא רק את השאיפה, אלא גם הם גם מבטיחים, הם עוסקים במעשים עצמם, עם הגוף דיבור והתודעה שלהם, הם מתרגלים את 6 השלמויות, את הנדיבות, את המוסריות, את הסבלנות, הריכוז המדיטטיבי והחוכמה, אז הם למעשה, כן, הם עוסקים בבודהיצ'יטה הלכה למעשה, אפשר להגיד.
There's one important things we necessary to know. Taking refuge on Buddha, Dharma, Sangha means is not a have to, for liberation. That's even though if you have not entered into the path of the smaller being for next rebirth, but even if you only thinking for this life alone, still is good. Take refuge on Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Still good if you do prayers, aspiration prayer. If you have faith or trust to Buddha Jewel, Dharma Jewel, Sangha Jewel for your long life, take for your healthy life, for your wealth and good harmonies or the peace of this world. So many kind of what your normal temporary ordinaries, the wish, the ordinary path. But the method is very different than ordinaries because your method is focused on the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So Buddha is always with the compassion, love to sentient beings, and the method of the wisdom. So therefore can sporting to you, but still not entering into the yet actual part of Dharma, but still can help you. That's one important thing. And then on top, of course, your motivation is to grow up. Then I'll mention you can leading you, Buddha Dharma Sangha leading you enter into the actual part of Dharma, which is smaller beings, middle beings, and the great beings, the enlightenment mind of Bodhicitta comes and then leading into the path of great beings.
אז לקחת מחסה בבודה דרמה וסנגה זה יכול להיות רק לשחרור או ללידה הבאה, אבל זה יכול להיות אפילו גם רק לחיים האלו. זה גם טוב לקחת מחסה בהם אפילו רק לחיים האלו. אנחנו יכולים להתפלל, תפילות שאיפה, אם יש לנו אמונה, אז אנחנו יכולים להתפלל של הדברים האלו, של החיים הארוכים, אושר, הרמוניה, בריאות, כל השאיפות הרגילות האלו שלנו, יכולים להשיג אותם, אבל השיטה שלנו תהיה שונה לגמרי. אז אם אנחנו מתרגלים כאלו, אנחנו עדיין מתרגלי דרמה, אבל זה עדיין לא הדרך האמיתית, זה עדיין לא הדרמה האמיתית, אבל לאט לאט המוטיבציה שלנו גדלה, ואז אנחנו נכנסים לדרך הקטנה, הבינונית והגדולה של בודהיצ'יטה.
So that is how to take uncommon refuge object of these three beings. And then the next stage we little bit explain about uncommon internal refuge object. Uncommon, the internal refuge object, another three different kinds of refuge object we need to add on top of the first common refuge object of the three jewels. So which means is because even you enter into the path of great beings, still there are one is external common practitioner, sutra followers, and one is the internal and the secret tantric practitioners. So if you like to practice both of sutra and tantra, and then not enough only Buddha, Dharma, Sangha alone, and then you must be take refuge on the three roots refuge object. Three roots means is the root of refuge object, the root of bliss refuge object of Guru, Lama or Guru, and also the you should be take refuge on the root of accomplishment refuge object of Yedam, the deities, Tantric, the Yedam deities. And then also you should take refuge the activities of Buddhas for benefit you, for benefit other sentient beings, which is the refuge object of Daka and darkness. So that are the three, we said three roots, refuge object, root of blessing, root of accomplishment, the root of activities of Buddhas.
אז ככה אנחנו לוקחים מחסה במושאי המחסה הנפוצים, המשותפים, אבל אז יש גם את המחסה הפנימי, הלא משותף, הסודי, והוא מגיע בנוסף למחסה הרגיל. אז אם אנחנו הולכים בדרך הגדולה של המהיאנה, אנחנו יכולים לתרגל, יש את הסוטרה ויש את הטנטרה הסודית. אז אם אנחנו רוצים לתרגל גם את הסוטרה וגם את הטנטרה, זה לא מספיק רק לקחת מחסה בבודה, דרמה ובסנגה, אנחנו צריכים גם את שלושת השורשים. אז השורש של העונג העילאי, הבליס, זה הגורו, הלמה. שורש ההישג זה האידם, אפשר להגיד הישות המדיטטיבית, הטנטרית. ושורש הפעילות שהיא לטובת בעלי התודעה ולטובתנו, הם הדקות והדקינות.
So actually, the Tibetan Buddhism tradition actually follow both of external sutra and internal tantric together. That cannot separation, since flourishing the Dharma from India into Tibet in the 8th century, 8th century or 9th century, already beginning this transmission into Tibet together, both of Sutra Tantra, during these thousands of years. So that's why today we have gone to take refuge both of external common three jewels and internal uncommon tantric, the three roots. And then if you want to practice the tantra, also there's a sub-score tantra and a high-score tantra. So these three roots refuge object is, we again say, among the of tantric, there's a common refuge object. According to the tantra, common refuge of both sub-score tantra and the high-score tantra. But if you want to practice the high-score tantra on top of the sub-score sutra, the external sutra and the sub-score tantra, and then not enough only Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, three jewel, common refuge object, Lama Yedam and Jagan is the uncommon refuge, but the another three stages you need to take refuge on there. So another three means is the nature Vajra refuge object, which means is a Vajra body, Vajra speech, Vajra heart or Vajra mind refuge, which is we used to normal say channels, bandus, and essence. The energy. So these are the three, because body composed by the channels. Ordinary body actually is best on the of external Vajra body channels. That means, and the ordinary the speech energy is as a rely on the externals of Vajra speech, which is the energy. And then ordinaries of the drops, the essence, are rely on the externals of Vajra heart, which means is Dolaga or Tigle, the essential of mind. So therefore, we should be take refuge on channels, energies, and bindus, or Vajra body, Vajra speech, and Vajra heart or mind.
בבודהיזם הטיבטי אנחנו הולכים בעקבות גם הסוטרה וגם הטנטרה, בלי הפרדה. וכשהדרמה הגיע מהודו לטיבט במאה השמינית או התשיעית, מאז וכאילו כל הדרמה עברה למעשה אל טיבט באופן שלם. ובטנטרה אנחנו לוקחים מקלט גם במחסה המשותף וגם במחסה הסודי, הטנטרי. אם אנחנו רוצים לתרגל טנטרה, אז יש את הטנטרה הגבוהה ויש את הטנטרה הנמוכה. אז אלו מושאי המחסה המשותפים לשתי הטנטרות. אם אנחנו רוצים לתרגל את הטנטרה הגבוהה, אנחנו צריכים לקחת מחסה גם בגוף הוואג'רה, בדיבור הוואג'רה, בתודעת הוואג'רה, או בערוצים, באנרגיות ובטיפות. אז הגוף הוא מורכב, הוא מבוסס על הערוצים, והדיבור הוא מבוסס על האנרגיה, על דיבור הוואג'רה. והטיפה, המהות היא תודעת הוואג'רה, הטיגלה, הטילקה, מהות התודעה, ולכן אנחנו לוקחים מחסה גם בהם.
Actually, Buddha Dharma is very rich, but comparing Tantra, the external of the sutra, even rich, but the Mahayana tradition of the sutra, but as compared to the internal of Tantra teaching, and then it's not that much skillful. So therefore, Tantric path is with a skillful method. Skillful. That means is like, for example, here, the third refuge object, the third fold, threefold of the third one, channels, vendus, energies. These three Vajra bodies, Vajra speech, Vajra heart is only even the word names from the Tantric teachings only comes. In the sutra, you never found even this word, one word, like Vajra body, Vajra speech, Vajra heart. Never, ever. And therefore, there's no teachings, the techniques, how to practice on the channel, bindus, energies. This all is from Tantra teaching, only the secret Tantra teaching. From Sutra is not. That's why Sutra teaching is not that much skillful. But Tantric is much, much more skillful method for attainment, your purpose, even your body, your speech, your heart, even your channels, bindus, energies you can use in the path of liberation, so on. So that's why very shortcut. Tantric is shortcut, skillful method, the path of skillful method.
אז הטנטרה היא הדרך המיומנת, המחסה השלישי הזה, של הערוצים, האנרגיות והטיפות, שלושת הוואג'רות. והשם שלהם אפשר למצוא אותו רק בטנטרה, אי אפשר לשמוע את המילים האלו, את השמות האלו בסוטרה. אין שם שום טכניקה איך לתרגל עם הערוצים, האנרגיות והטיפות. זה מופיע רק בטנטרה הסודית. ולכן היא הרבה יותר מיומנת. כן, היא דרך יותר מיומנת כדי להשיג את המטרה שלנו, היא כמו קיצור דרך.
And then, that's the last one, an object of the refuge, the fourth fold of three fields or refuge objects, which is today the main topic, actually. How do we, the titles today of these lectures, we say how to take refuge in Mandala of essence, nature, and the compassion. So these three is the last refuge object, the finality, most of a highest level qualified the refuge object, finality refuge object. There are no more higher qualities than of this refuge object. That's finality, we say refuge object. Niluk Tuanji Shabdo in Tibetan. Niluk means nature. Ton means is the final state and refuge object.
המחסה האחרון, הרביעי, שהוא הנושא שלנו להיום, הם שלושת מושאי המחסה, מנדלת, המהות, הטבע והחמלה. אז שלושת המושאים האלו הם הסופיים, הם האחרונים, הם הגבוהים ביותר, אין גבוה מהם. ובטיבטית זה נלוק וטון, אז נלוק זה טבע וטון זה סופי, מחסה סופי.
So, this now how we take refuge on these three different aspects of nature, essence, and great the pervasive compassion, all pervasive compassion. So first we need to understand what means is the nature, the mandala. But this maybe I like usually say, first one is nature. But many translation I see the first one is essence. The second aspect is nature they used. But I don't know, I feel what I understand from only maybe dictionary, what I understand is must be the first one is used better. We said the nature. And the second one is essence, essential. But anyway, it's maybe could be similar to both meaning. Only you need to understand what is the meaning, then fine. So anyway, the first one I just use now is nature, we say. Nature, anyway, these last three fold of the refuge, the three the fourth aspect of refuge object is actually is that is talking about the your one's own nature mind is the final refuge object, one's own nature mind. Especially that's the from the great perfection Dzogchen tradition's refuge object. So therefore, is these three failed the fourth of the last one, the three refuge object is as from depend to the rely on the of self-awareness. Self-awareness is as nature of our mind. Rang, Tibetan. Rang means self. Rig means awareness. So it's a self-awareness, wisdom. The pure, this self-awareness is the primarily pure self-awareness, our nature mind. So the true nature, the self-awareness mind could be division in three different aspects. Aspect of nature, aspect of essential, aspect of the all-pervasive great compassion. That is self-awareness.
אז איך אנחנו לוקחים מחסה בהיבטים של הטבע, המהות והחמלה, שורה בכל. אז רינפוצ'ה אומר שלפעמים בתרגומים שונים אומרים קודם מהות, טבע ואז חמלה, אבל עדיף להגיד קודם טבע, ככה הוא מרגיש. אז מהו מושא המחסה הזה? זה בעצם טבע התודעה שלנו. זה המחסה האחרון, הסופי. זה המחסה של השלמות הגדולה, הצוק פצ'נפו. ושלושת אלו, הטבע, המהות והחמלה, הם קשורים, או הם מאפיינים של המודעות העצמית, שהיא טבע התודעה שלנו, תודעה שמודעת לעצמה. אז בטיבטית זה רנג ריג. אז רנג זה עצמי, וריג זה מודעות. אז זה מודעות שהיא תאורה מבראשית, מההתחלה. למעשה זה מזמן ללא ראשית, זה כן, משהו כזה. אז יש לתודעה הזאת, יש שלושה היבטים. לטבע הזה יש שלושה היבטים. הטבע, המהות והחמלה הגדולה, השורה בכל.
So this also could be the point meaning is the three final, the three kayas. The three kayas can be description from sense of the sutra, the three kayas, and tantric, common tantric teaching also the three kayas. But the final three kayas is the most vast, extensive funnel is from Dzogchen, this Rigpa, can division into three kayas. In this way, the nature, what is our nature quality? What can like the nature quality of our mind, or the self-awareness of nature mind, quality nature? Nature, our nature mind is primarily pure, Dharma sphere. The expense, I think expense, we say the vast, the profound, true nature. Means is empty, emptiness, unborn true nature. The Dharma sphere is unborn true nature, Dharma sphere. That is the nature, reality is as we say Dharmakaya, the aspect of Dharmakaya. Among the Dzogchen traditions, three kayas. And the first is the basics of the wisdom body is we say Dharmakaya, the fundamental, the ground body, ground the pure body of our nature mind is Dharmakaya. So Dharmakaya is the aspect of unborn nature Dharma sphere, the primarily pure, true nature, unborn sphere. That is, we say, Dharmakaya. So this is the one aspect of these three different kind of refuge object of according to the great perfection, super symbol. That's the nature, mandala of nature.
זה גם, הטבע, המהות והחמלה הגדולה הם גם שלושת הקאיות שמופיעות גם בסוטרה וגם בטנטרה, אז זה נפוץ גם שם, זה מופיע גם שם. אבל שלושת הקאיות הסופיות, זה אפשר להגיד, זה מגיע מהצד שם. אז הטבע זה הראשון, מהו הטבע שלנו, מהו טבע התודעה שלנו, של המודעות העצמית. אז הטבע הוא טהור מבראשית, הוא ספירת הדרמה, הוא מרחב, הוא נרחב, הוא עמוק, והוא גם ריק, הוא לא נולד. זהו טבע המציאות, או הדרמקאיה, או ההיבט של הדרמקאיה. אז גוף החוכמה הוא הדרמקאיה, הוא הבסיס, הוא הטבע הטהור מבראשית, והוא לא נולד. זה ההיבט הראשון של שלושת מושאי המחסה האלו, הטבע, מנדלת הטבע.
And then the second fold of these three refuge objects, the essence. So what is the essence of this true nature Dharmakaya? What is the essential of the true nature Dharmakaya, the nature of our mind? So the luminosity or luminosis. So the luminosity or the clarity, also we can use many different words, I think, but important to point meaning to understand, and then no matter what kind of word you use. But the essential luminosity, essential, or the luminosity essence, clarity, that is actually wisdom. The five wisdom we mentioned yesterday. So actually the five wisdom is the disciplining, the aspect of disciplining to of this luminosity essence, the mind of the essence, which is Sambhoga Kaya, Sanskriti. Among the three Kaya, we say this is the aspect of Sambhoga Kaya, enjoyment body. Because the first one, the true nature, is a Dharmakaya. We say the truth body. So the second aspect, the essential, the luminosity, is a Sambhoga Kaya or enjoyment body. The aspect of our self-awareness, mind.
אז המושא השני מבין שלושת אלו זה המהות. אז מהי המהות של הדרמקאיה, של הטבע האמיתי של התודעה שלנו? אז זה הזוהר, הצלילות, בהירות, מהות שהיא זוהרת. אז זאת חוכמה, חמשת החוכמות כמו שדיברנו עליהן אתמול. אז חמשת החוכמות האלו הן מופיעות מתוך המהות הזוהרת הזאת. ונקראת גם הסמבוקה-קאיה, גוף ההנאה. אז הדרמקאיה זה גוף האמת, והסמבוקה-קאיה היא גוף ההנאה. זה ההיבט של המודעות העצמית.
And then the third one, all-pervasive compassion. In Tibetan, Tujie Kunkep. So these Tujie means is the great compassion. Kunkep means is all-pervasive. So all-pervasive great compassion, like this we can use the word. That is a Nirmanakaya, the aspect of Nirmanakaya, Sanskrit language, the third Kaya. Literally on Tibetan, the manifestation body or emanation body of Buddha's three bodies. The Fanda, our nature mind with three Kayas. That's third aspect, Nirmanakaya, manifestation body we say. then why this is we say all-pervasive compassion? Because that means it's the union with the first unborn nature of Dharma sphere, emptiness, and the second aspect, essential of luminosity, inseparability, one test, become one test of these two different aspects. That is all-pervasive. That is a great compassion. That great compassion is pervasive equally for all of the sentient beings, nature mind. Or not only nature mind, we can say in Dzogchen Chenpo traditions, this great compassion can equally pervasive, equally for all the phenomena, object of knowledge, sense of from the impure of samsara, the phenomena of samsara, up to of the pure appearances of phenomena of the knowledge object of phenomena of nirvana. There's no exceptions. Without any one exceptions, everything's nature is with three kayas. Means especially is the energy of this great method of compassion. We say like sesame seed. Sesame seed. So the sesame seed is no matter what kind of green, blue, yellow, gray, or big or small or tiny, but oily. The oil is pervasive, equally all because this is the same family. Sesame seed. So same like this is all of the object of knowledge, doesn't matter, object, subject, and active itself of three spheres appearances of phenomena are. In Dzogchen Chenpo tradition, there's no difference. Only one test, one single test. That's only displaying better your self-awareness. That's the power. So, and therefore Dzogchen Chenpo tradition sometimes we say effortlessly attainment state of realization true nature, effortfully, we say. In Dzogchen traditions, the view without abandonment and without engagement, we say, because it's this great all-pervasive compassion pervading equally. So therefore, if some can pervasive the power of the awareness, but some is missing this awareness, then must be that's different. One is engagement object, one is abandonment object. But partially or completely and pervasive equally for everything are including of this self-awareness energy, and then there's no something different. That is why there's no abandonment, no engagement of the view of Dzogchen Chenpo tradition. So therefore, the meditation also without of concept, without of non-concepts, and therefore the conduct of Dzogchen Chenpo traditions, conduct also there's no something rejecting, no something adopting. It's equal quality in Dzogchen Chenpo traditions. So therefore, even though in Dzogchen Chenpo tradition there's no adopting object of wisdom and rejecting object of poisons, the three poisons or the delusions, because delusions is as awareness. Awareness is as the delusions, afflictive emotions. There's no difference, according to the of conventionally, according to the of ultimately, according to the of nature of your mind, and then there's no difference. The same system, same quality. Both are the pure appearances of wisdom, impure appearances of the five poisons are displaying by the nature mind. Like mentioned, you definitely sesame seed, but it's oily. It's always pervasive by the oil. So same like this. Therefore, there's no different rejection and adopt object difference. There's nothing. That's equal quality. So that's the point. Anyway, the meaning is all-pervasive compassion. Is Nirmanakaya, is as all the aspect of all-pervasive compassion is a Nirmanakaya.
המושא השלישי הוא החמלה ששורה בכל או חובקת כל. חמלה גדולה, זה נרמן הקיה, או גוף ההתגלמות או גוף ההצלה של שלושת גופי הבודה. אז ההיבט השלישי של טבע התודעה שלנו הוא נרמן הקיה. ולמה אנחנו אומרים שהחמלה הזאת שורה בכל? זה בגלל שהיא הייחוד בין מספרת הדרמה הריקה לבין ההיבט השני, הזוהר, הזוהר, הם בייחוד בלתי נפרד. אז זאת חמלה גדולה והיא שורה בכל באופן שווה. לכל בעלי התודעה היא שורה באופן שווה בטבע התודעה שלנו. אבל לא רק בטבע התודעה שלנו, החמלה הזאת היא שורה גם בכל התופעות, בכל מושאי הידע. מהתופעות הבלתי טהורות של סמסרה ועד התופעות הטהורות של נירוונה. כמו שבגרגיר של סומסום, לא משנה הצבע שלו, הגודל שלו, יש שמן בכולו. אז שלושת הספרות, המושא, הנושא והמעשה, אין ביניהם הבדל, הם בטעם אחד. הם מופיעים מתוך טבע התודעה. אז אנחנו אומרים שאנחנו מגיעים להישג הזה ללא מאמץ. אין משהו שצריך לאמץ ומשהו שצריך לזנוח. כי אין הבדל, החמלה היא שורה בכל. זאת ההשקפה של הארצות שם. אז זאת ההשקפה. והמדיטציה היא ללא מושגים, ללא המשגה, ללא קונספטים. וההתנהגות או איך שאנחנו פועלים בעולם, אז זה ללא משהו לאמץ ומשהו לזנוח, הכל שווה. אנחנו לא צריכים לאמץ חוכמה כלשהי או לזנוח את שלושת הרעלים. האשליות, הטבע שלהם אין חוכמה, הכל באותו איכות. הרעלים האלה מופיעים מתוך טבע התודעה שלנו, ולכן אין מה לזנוח או לאמץ, הכל שווה. זאת המשמעות של החמלה השורה בכל הנרמן הקיים.
So this way now, how to take refuge means is if you want to enter into the path of smaller beings, as mentioned, you take refuge on Buddha is answer possible teacher, Dharma is answer possible path, and the Sangha is answer possible leader. And then on top having the renunciation of the samsara and you faith for liberation comes to you and take refuge on Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Again, same is for the three different aspects and do follow. And then on top, if you want to tantric practice, not only sutra, and then you need to take refuge on the channels, bindus, energies, which means is you need to receive the empowerment from the gurus, one source gurus, root gurus, empowerment, the initiations, oral instructions need to receive, and the transmissions you need to receive. And then to do practice the generation stage and compilation stage with channels, bindus, energies, and the essence. And rely on one's Vajra body and rely on the others of your partners. The body, Vajra speech, Vajra heart means with consort, secret consort, tantric consort. Keep this pure samaya vows. And then it's on top, you want to be entering into the path of, we mentioned the Dzogpa Chenpo, and then you need to find the way, relying on the Dzogpa Chenpo, great, the authentic, the perfection, great perfection, Dzogpa Chenpo teacher, with the pure lineage from first Buddha Samantabhadra, Kundu Sangpo, and Bhattacharya Kundu Sangmo, through of this hearing the heart lineage or mind lineage, symbolic lineage, and hearing the contemplation lineage, the pure lineage, orders of master follow with strong faith and pure devotions. And they will introduce to you your nature mantra is as three kayas. You need to receive the introduction directly from your root guru. The Dzogpa Chenpo, I mean the Dzogpa Chenpo root guru, will introduce to you. Your one's nature mind is as three kaya. Or they introduce to you your nature of self-awareness mind, primordial wisdom pure. And then follow he or her advice, master's advice with faith and devotion. Do practice, meditate on your nature, empty unborn nature, essential of luminosity, and great method, all-pervasive great method of compassion. That is the actual how taking refuge on three kayas, one of three kayas. How to take refuge of three kayas.
אז איך אנחנו לוקחים מקלט? אז שוב, בדרך הקטנה אנחנו לוקחים מקלט, לוקחים מחסה בשלושת אבני החן שאין נעלים מהם, ואז כשיש לנו רצון להיחלץ מסמסר, אנחנו גם אז אנחנו עדיין ממשיכים לקחת מחסה בשלושת אבני החן, אבל כשאנחנו רוצים לתרגל טנטרה, אנחנו לוקחים מחסה בערוצים, באנרגיות ובטיפות, וכדי לעשות את זה אנחנו צריכים לקבל את העצמה מהגורו, את החניכה, אנחנו צריכים את ההוראות שבעל פה, את התמסורת, ואז אנחנו יכולים לתרגל את שלב היצירה ואת שלב ההשלמה. אנחנו יכולים להסתמך על גוף הוואצ'ה שלנו ועל גוף הוואצ'ה של אחרים, עם פרטנר, כן, עם קונסורט. אנחנו צריכים לשמור על הנדרים, על הסמאיה. ובצ'וקצ'ה אנחנו צריכים להסתמך על המורה של השלמות הגדולה, שיש לו את השושלת הטהורה, מסמנטה בדרה, קונטו זנגפו וקונטו זנגמו, שיש לו את שושלת הלב, את השושלת של הלב, שושלת התודעה והשושלת הסימבולית וההרהור. זאת השושלת הטהורה. אנחנו צריכים ללכת אחרי אמונה ומסירות חזקה. והם יציגו לנו את טבע התודעה שלנו. הם יציגו לנו שטבע התודעה שלנו הוא שלושת הקיות. אנחנו צריכים לקבל את ההצגה הישירה של טבע התודעה שלנו, שהוא שלושת הקיות. הם מציגים לנו את המודעות העצמית שהיא טהורה מבראשית. ואנחנו צריכים ללכת אחרי העצה שלו, של המורה. אז ככה אנחנו לוקחים מקלט בשלושת הקיות.
Okay, so in this way, most of the shortcut final stage, the path is the Dzogpa Chenpo actually. That's, I mentioned you, the Maraiba was first met the great Dzogpa Chenpo teacher of Nyingma, Norton Dorji Jensen. So he says, you can enlightenment at the evening if you have received the morning of this or instruction, lineage of Dzogpa Chenpo, introduction. If evening, if you met these instructions and then early next morning you will be enlightenment. This. So, and then also is sometimes in the Dzogpa Chenpo text it says, 1 second, minutes just before you are very ordinary beings, and next second moments you are very extraordinary beings become. If you realization the true nature of the moments of the Dzogpa Chenpo. So there's no more shortcut, no more fast, the path for liberation. 1 second moments can enlightenment. If you are very capable, the highest capacity if you have. So anyway, there's many levels. So that is today our topic. And then anyone, if you have any questions, we're going to leave before question answers for 15 minutes.
אז הדוקשן זה הקיצור, זה קיצור הדרך. כשמילרפה פגש את מורה הדוקשן, אז הוא אמר לו שהוא יכול להגיע להערה בערב אם הוא קיבל בבוקר את ההצגה הישירה הזאת של טבע התודעה, ואם הוא קיבל אותה בערב, אז הוא יכול להגיע להערה בבוקר. ובטקסטים אומרים שרגע אחד אנחנו יכולים להיות יצורים רגילים, וברגע אחר אנחנו מגיעים להערה שלמה. אז אין דרך יותר מהירה מזאת לשחרור, הערה ברגע אחד. אז אם יש לנו את הקיבולת ואת היכולת הזאת, כן, אז זה יעבוד אם יש לנו את הקיבולת ואת היכולת. את היכולות האלו. טוב, יש הרבה רמות, וזה הנושא להיום, ועכשיו יש שאלות ותשובות 15 דקות, ואותם אני לא מתקדם.
Can you say a little bit more also about taking refuge in the Lake? When you say on one own's body also?
I think it's enough to speak this today. More than. Yeah. This is a tantric secret practice. So then you must be receive some another separate subject. How going to detail practice channels, bandus, energies, and then I think they will detail explanations. Anyway, that we need to free them from the obscuration of channels, bandus, energies. Our ordinary normal body is locked. All of the pure channels. We used functioning better the wrong channels. So therefore we need to liberate from these bondages or these knots, you know. So those channel take refuge on channel, the pure channels, and then is the wrong channel will be blocked and will be liberated the red channels. That is one, take refuge. And then is the energy, unpure karmic energy is with the full of obscuration. So we need to free from these obscurations and then it's become pure energy, which is wisdom energy. So long, the energy. And then tigli, the drop unpure of ordinaries of the attachment and aversionment object of the two drops. And become pure if you know how to rely on this tantric skillful method, and then you can liberate the obscuration of these two drops. Unpure of the drops become as a pure essential of great bliss emptiness. If you can experiencing, if you should to know how to do practice of the great bliss emptiness with this energy, the bandus, and then very shortcut, skillfully, you will be attainment state realization true nature of Sambhoga Kaya or so on. So just very and briefly, can't like this, okay?
And when you say is the bliss emptiness is tumo, is like breathing exercises of tumo?
So many. Skillful method. So many, not only one. The more is one.
If you ask retreat about it next year, there is a chance.
I don't think too much to talk about this. You know. So, yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to be clear. What do you mean by Mandala? Just a little bit confused about it.
Sorry. When those who are organizations, when you choose the subject, you must be is first, of course, responsibility to who coming. That moment most is just judge, and that is a common way. What is important for like new people comes, most of young generations comes or something joining. This would be very important, and then something is the small is a very private group. The real actual already enter into the path years ago. Those people maybe sometimes in case is interest and take a little bit specific part of detail the vast extensive something, you know, and then is make a little bit more helpful to both of the listeners and the who when the teachings, you know, also comfortable. More otherwise we choose a very high level, very deep something subject and performed, but as people coming is a very public way comes, and that is confusing for them. And the teacher also feels uncomfortable if a detailed talk and they are confusing and cannot help. and then it's general, and then no make sense this subject to talk. Don't know how to start to speak. It's a very complicated to speak because can see just facing when looks like almost not that correct today. For I can see, I can feel even that doesn't mean I have clear ones, but almost I can judge. I'm sure now we start later talk, but they will leave. I can guess. Almost I can anytime. So almost I can guess. Because it depends the subject and the depend people. So therefore the organizers very important not only for you what is necessary, what is unnecessary, because you are the organization. So therefore the organizers we need to responsibility around people who comes. This is more important than oneself. Also Bodhicitta is attitude benefit others than oneself. Isn't it? Okay, so therefore oneself, even though you 100 times listen to this, but still, if necessary, the subject, important to new people to comes, this is the capacity different level. That's just I want to say actually. But it's everything's also fine was, but anyway, for future.
So we call this gathering today taking sanctuary of the Mandala of nature, essence, and compassion. But just wanted to be clear, what does Mandala mean in this? Like, what is exactly?
Mandala means the center and round. That is Mandala. The Sanskrit language, but this Mandala means in briefly, we are here today. Here, this is Mandala. So in point moment here, say I can be center. You are the round, something like. Okay, and then you go to your office or something. Your boss is the center, and the subject or the followers are like the round, But you are the mandala. Okay, mandala of the factory. You can say like this to understand, So mandala means it's like that. But then deeper and deeper, then of course everything. Something is the different aspect comes to us. But mandala means is like this. Kyur core in Tibetan. Mandala. Kyur means the center. Core means the round, the circle, the round, the secondary, the round. So that is kyunko mandala. Just literally, I'm saying. The meaning, of course, then very depend.
I wanted to ask about renunciation. So I'm a mother. And sometimes I think if I weren't a mother, I could live my life and do renunciation. But it's really difficult, really challenging the lifestyle. And sometimes, well, of course I practice, but it's not like do renunciation, like totally renunciation. So is it possible to do it in the same lifestyle, not changing the lifestyle?
Renunciation doesn't mean you leave to your family, your friend, your children, your kids, your parents. Totally not. That's the case of the renunciation. Bodhisattvas can enlightenment with the family, with the kingdoms. So many was there. The householder can enlightenment Buddhahood once lifetime. Means that doesn't mean they have no renunciation to the home. That doesn't mean they have no renunciation to the kingdoms. It doesn't mean renunciation samsara. They completely renounce to samsara and everything's, but still they know how to holding the families. Okay, so therefore it's a Bodhisattvas manifestation into samsara till emptying samsara. They are completely renounced to samsara, but they completely reborn again and again into samsara for benefit sentient beings. That's not contradictory, not contradiction anymore. If you feel something, renunciation means must be far away of this object, must be run away from this, leave everything, throw out or something. This kind of renunciation is not the great perfection, the Mahayana tradition.
For me, but I didn't know if the lifestyle is.
Sorry? Then what problem for you?
No problem.
No problem. Oh, that's good. Okay. Oh, but I say you have problems, something that's my mistake maybe.
Two questions. If I want to take refuge, like in the last that you presented is the way like to take refuge before, like what is the way, like should they take refuge in the previous also refuges, and how do I know that I'm ready?
Previous meant is in this life.
In this life, like you presented like many refuges, and the last three.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
order.
different folds.
Yeah, the order, and how do I know that I'm ready?
Oh, that is, yes, actually, most step and step is good. First, take refuge, common refuge, and then learning, starting practice, and become more familiarity, and feel more comfortable, feel more trust comes to you, and then is add on there is the internal refuge object or tantra, like 3 roots, also on step and step. But sometimes they can receive everything at the same day, one day. Support everything in the order of the 3 or 4 folds of refuge object can. But it's generally it's not rushing everything. You know, a little bit takes time, but it's more stable. Means is to make sure understand clearly. That's important. Understand. First should be to understand. Then try. If it comes to understand, then they naturally they like take this refuge. You know, if not only like, but then it will never but they can keep the connections and the vows and the further continuously because they understand it clearly what's So therefore, it's important to trust faith comes. Otherwise, it's just blindness faith and take refuge. These all the faith together. But because it depends, some is still is not bad. Blind faith is then will be bring the trust faith is born. But this, but some people not, and then after weeks, a month, and then they totally rejecting about this. They will lost everything's. And that is not very, nice, not a good way. So therefore, what I'm talking is first to be understand clearly what means Buddha, what means Dharma, what means Sangha. If I can have refuge of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, really, what is the benefit? But logically, but reasonably, by yourself understand. First, of course, from teacher they talk, from books, text they says. But you don't need only trust to what teacher says, what book says. But you check, but then your wisdom mind analyze to what they says is it can be possible, that's true or not. And then it's little bit you can feel, that must be can possible, it's true something. And then check your faults. Is it really what text what says, teacher what says, Buddha what says, is it really true or not? You check yourself. Is it really we have this desire, anger, ignorance, jealousy, hatred, harmful thought? Is it true? That's the emotion we have. As you say yes, but that's not bad. Maybe you beginning thinking, and then they says that's very bad because harming you. Then you check yourself: is this harming you or this help to you? Sometimes you can feel anger has helped me because anger I cannot do like fighting. I cannot fighting enemy. I'm sure. So therefore, but that's the wisdom. Mistake wisdom. So wisdom, pure wisdom and wrong the perception. Wrong perception is sometimes leading us wrong path. So that's what happened. But it's carefully follow the valid cognitions and use your excellent investigations, analyze to understand. It comes to understand, then even when someone want to stop, but you cannot stop. You want to take refuge Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That means you found the way. The perfect, authentic the path. So therefore you like, you want achievement, happy enjoyment, you want freedom. That's why, that's the same. Like even though modern, the wisdom, the medicines, or the technology. First we need to little bit understand how they work, how they use. Then we trust, right? Was very beginning. Even this very was worried when the vaccine and this COVID-19, everybody try to rejecting, they don't like. Then other people they get, and the other third, fourth, and we here in Dharamsala, His Holiness Dalai Lama first take this. Unfortunately meant is it almost we used to. He just showing us. He used. It's okay, no problem. Then people, oh, His Holiness received this, we must be, trust him. Like, sometimes we more trust than science, they, like traditional West, and sometimes, therefore, anyway, that means however, first we need to understand, and then is trust is coming. This trust is the truest trust. This will never deceiving to you. So, yeah. So therefore, you can check what kind of level you like to take refuge. First stage or second, the further 2, 3, 4th, all that's up to you. Someone can take all together. Someone is step by step, but cannot jump never. Okay, that is clear. You say, no, first the Buddha Dhamma Sangha is not for me. But for me is excellent, the 3 kayas. That's not possible. Okay? If you say, the 3 root, Lama, Yedam, and Dragon, this kind is not for me. But the channels of Vendi's energy is exactly for me. Perfect, if you say, that's the wrong. No possible. That is almost same like, I don't need the first floor. The fundamental house I don't like, I want to destroy, but the 9th story for me must be important, isn't it? If you say, but no possible. You can only stay 9th story, but you need to protect the first floor. Very important, 4 9th stories. Make sense? Therefore, you cannot jump in. Yeah? Because then it makes sense, it makes step forward. All right, so we're going to dedication prayers. Shiva, All right, so that's all. Thank you.
תודה לכולם, אנחנו נשאר כמה דקות.